Well, hey guys, welcome to another great day. Today is Tuesday, the 28th. Hopefully, you guys are having a fantastic, wonderful, wonderful day. I know for us, it's just been another great day to hang out and get going here. So it's still a little bit early, but hopefully, you guys are getting going. But today, I wanted to share just a little bit with you about something that really helped me stay organized, stay focused. For me, as you can even see behind me on Facebook here, YouTube, you can't see it, but Facebook, you can see behind me, I've got things written on my wall, lists, ideas. I'm a huge whiteboard guy. As well as many of you guys have seen in my previous videos, but I'm a huge whiteboard guy. Love writing out things, jotting down things. Um, and many of you are like me as well. You're doing multiple things, right? So you've got maybe your primary job. Some of you guys have like some little side hustles. Maybe you've got even family schedules. You've got even just things you're thinking about, dreaming about, all of these things. And so you've got all these things, these thoughts that are going through your head all day long. And so how do you keep those scheduled? How do you keep those prioritized? How do you keep those there? For me, um, I do a couple of things. When I've got some digital stuff, obviously, in today's world, you got to have a digital calendar of some sort, some type. So I do have a digital calendar, and that gets filled up. And I use that. I actually use a digital kind of a app type thing that people schedule appointments, things like that. So I use that. So a lot of my day is filled up by outside people scheduling, but uh, also I do keep a written schedule now. Not so much schedule, but more of a planner. Okay. And so I want to talk to you about that. This is called the Full Focus Planner. They just came out with a new model, kind of design, you could say, just a few months ago. Actually, I think at the beginning of the year, they came out with this new one. And so uh, I was a part of the beta group for this. This is from Michael Hyatt. I was part of the beta group, so he was just kind of testing it out. The very first one they sent out to us was actually a PDF. That was a PDF download, and we downloaded it and printed out. It was like, gosh, like just like a couple hundred pages. And I it was just this huge thing, and it wasn't, but it was PDF beta group to kind of test it out to see if we liked it. We gave back a bunch of feedback to them on what we liked, what we didn't like, what one changed. Then they came out with this version, which is hardback bound, all that kind of stuff. And even throughout the last couple of years, they've been continuing to make more and more adaptations, changes as people in that group continue to make suggestions on what would make it look better and feel better, and work for us and our style. And so I want to suggest a full focus planner for you. I know a lot of my friends out there have it. It's kind of like a little cult following. Every time I see somebody with there used to be, these stripes used to be like orange and blue, whatever. So it was like super noticeable when somebody had them. They changed them now to just kind of like a gray and a light gray. But before it was like super obvious. I mean, it still is, but before it was like, man, that's a full focus guy. And so it would spark up some conversations. I've met quite a few people just out in public because they had it, and I'd walk up to them and say, hey man, that's a great full focus planner you got there. And then we would just spark up and talk about it and get going. Or even as I'm traveling around, I'll see it on people's desks, things like that. And so um, you don't have to get this one. There's lots of them out there, like the High Impact Leader Planner. John Maxwell has a planner now. A lot of people have planners, but here's why I'd suggest them. It's a couple of things. Damon John, I was on a webinar with him, and he said one of the biggest successful tips he would give to people is that every night you look at your goals, and then every morning when you wake up, look at your goals, and then base your days around that. And so one way to do that is that you actually have a place where you have your goals. So for example, in this one, there is a place right here where you put down your annual goals. So you write down all the main things that you're going after for this year. Maybe it's X amount of sales, or maybe it's X amount of attendance growth, or maybe it's, whatever it might be. Maybe it's, I don't know, whatever it might, whatever your goals are. Maybe it's run a half marathon or run a marathon, whatever it might be. And so you write down those. Okay. And so every night you can look at those, every morning you can look at those. And then what it does is it breaks down each one of those goals into some different sections. So you write down the goal summaries, like why do you want this goal, and then it talks about like key motivators. Why is this goal so important to you? Why is it important to you that you run that half marathon? Because maybe you've told yourself your whole life you never would be able to, but now you could. Next steps, and so talks about some of the goals that we write down on this annual side is going to take the whole year. It's going to take 10 months to write those down. So, but what are you going to do in this quarter? What are you going to do in the next few weeks to get that done? And then the reward. And this is something that I really struggled with for a long time with my goals is, I'm a 3, I'm a DI. And so for me, I never really took the time to like reward myself on the goals that I achieved. I would just kind of like move on. And so he really talks about rewarding yourself, setting a goal and rewarding yourself for achieving that goal. And so I know for a lot of us that are forward thinkers, we're goal oriented. It's just like, man, we're just going to move on. We just keep going. But no, he says, reward yourself with that. And so here's one thing I had someone that I was close with that she would go buy clothes just randomly. And then when we talk about our goals for the year, she would say, man, I don't really have anything to reward myself with. I said, well, why don't you take those clothes that you would go buy and begin to set those as goal words. And so instead of just spending money at random, why don't you say, hey, if I achieve this goal, then I'll go spend whatever 75 on some clothes. So maybe for you, it's a vacation, right? Like maybe a huge goal first. I know a lot of people have weight loss challenges, right? And so maybe do a weight loss thing, and then you do something big like that, like a vacation or something. Encourage you guys to goals, okay? All, but I'm very helpful for. So that's another section. The other, the monthly calendar. So you go on a big overview, full month. It was about 6 months. Thing called orders, which is where you can get kind of do some bigger picture. For me, this section hasn't really worked well for me so I use this other little thing called a at a glance calendar because this has like 3 years in it, so I can plan way ahead of a year ahead, that kind of thing. And I just keep it in the back pocket here, and I just pull it out when I need it. So because this only has 4 or 5 months in it, and so but I want to see like a year out when I'm planning some things. Okay. Then it goes into the daily stuff. Okay. And so the daily stuff here is he talks about 3 big goals. Okay. This is Michael Hyatt again. So he talks about 3 big goals, 3 big things that you want to achieve. At the end of the day, here are like 3 major significant things that you need to get done today that you really want to get done. Okay. And then all your tasks down here. So again, this is just all these little things that you got to get done. But these big 3, these are like the big nuggets that I need to get done today in order to achieve really success today. And then just notes. So I'll write just all kinds of thoughts, things, even one thing that I do with this is I keep this out when I'm doing my devotions and my prayer time. And I'll just keep it right next to my Bible, right next to me while I'm praying, because the Lord will often remind me of things that I need to do, things that I need to say, things people I need to talk to. Because one of the questions I ask myself each morning is who can I invest in today? Who can I add value to today? So I ask the Lord that, and I'll just write those questions. I'll write the answers to that. Hey, let's talk to this person, encourage them this way, or send a text message to this person, or even just things to do. Hey, remember to do this. So I'll just write all those things down in here. And again, that's one of the best reasons why I feel like this is so good, because oftentimes for me, I don't really want to be on my phone when I'm praying or when I'm reading my Bible. I don't want it because it's so easy to be distracted by other things. And all of a sudden now you're on Facebook or you're on Instagram, whatever, and you've totally slipped into this, as opposed to if you just write it down on a piece of paper right here, Plus, the other thing too is I used to have, and you saw my desk, piles and piles of paper, and I still have piles of paper because I just do. But sticky list or no, and so they're all now they're all in one place. It's all you. Oh, you start here with kind of a week. So next steps here on what your goals are going to do, what you want to do, what went well, what didn't go well, what do you want to change about your week? What do you want to adapt? All those kinds of things. And then you go through and putting down some major things that you want to do throughout this week. Okay. Um, Even things like self-care planner, sleep, eat, move, connect, relax, just all of these areas where you can get better and improve and evaluate because um, we need to you guys all know we need to continue to evaluate, review, reflect. And so every week you just got a little bit of time. I do this on Sunday mornings. I typically take a few 30 minutes or so and just review the week. How did it go? What was good? What worked well? What do I need to change? What do I need to adapt? And then again, boom, the week starts. And then so you got all your days, your weekend reviews, things like that. And then the back here, there is what he calls a quarter review and a quarter preview. So again, you review the whole quarter, how the last 3 months go. What do you want to do in the next 3 months to achieve your goals and get a little bit better? And then there's back here, there's just these places for notes and things like that. And I'll do that. I'll use that. And then again, there is this back pocket here. I keep a couple of things back here for just one. I keep Dale Carnegie's goals, kind of the big principles from Dale Carnegie's life. I keep this 3-year planner. Again, I use this so that I can see 3 years in advance and backwards, all that kind of stuff. Because again, I just want to be able to see big time ahead and not just a few months. And then I keep what we call six sketch storyboard, which is kind of like 6 frames of my journey in life that I can share with people when I'm at lunch with them or something like that, just kind of get to know them and they can get me a little bit better. So, full focus planner, I highly suggest it. There's a great addition to your desk, great addition because you can take it with you. I take it with me pretty much always so I can write things down, even when I'm meeting with somebody and say, hey man, I'll get this to you. I write it down immediately. If you guys have been meetings with me, you know that I often will do that. I'll say, hey, hold on down real quick so I don't forget. You drive away until you drive away as well. But for me, I can just write it down. That's the other thing is when I'm in my car, I can leave this open and I can just continue to write while I'm driving, just write as opposed to trying to get my phone out and trying to voice record, all that kind of stuff. I can just write a note real quick. And oftentimes it looks horrible because I'm not even like really looking. I'm just kind of like writing while I'm driving, but I can still be reminded of what I was trying to write because oftentimes I can't read it very well, but it reminds me, oh yeah, I can remember that. And so again, just writing down these quick little notes is super helpful. Encourage you guys to look into it. I know it's kind of like old school to like go back to written, but man, sometimes the old school is still the way to go. And so for me, I've been using this for the last couple of years. There's a lot of them on the market. Like I said, John Maxwell has performance, impact, or like that. A lot of them out. There's even like the Enneagram has a journal. I think DISC has a journal based on your personality types, things like that. And so, your thought to list, your one simple with you that's quick, that's easy, that is different than your phone. And I know a lot of people like Trello, things like that that are on your phone that help you organize all that kind of stuff, and those are great. Love those two. I use a lot of those as well. But for me to have this also has been a huge help, to just have something where I can take all my notes, my to-do list, my journal, my goals, all that kind of stuff in one place. It's constantly with me. I can look at those, review them, look through them. It's been super helpful. So hopefully that's been helpful to you guys, and we'll see you guys soon.